welcome to my Ikea PAX and something else I can't remember the name of, I'll put it on the screen, build. I'm going to put some cupboards here, it's the perfect shape for it. This used to be our kitchen door, blocked up, and then we built the extension and you go in there. So this across here is the perfect width to put cupboards. Now it isn't mega deep, I've marked on the wall here, that's why the panelling stops here. So that's 600 deep. This side's only about 45. So I haven't gone for the deep cupboards, I've gone for the shallow ones. But I'm gonna build a big 3-piece storage cupboard, and I've bought another Ikea piece to go on the bottom. So this is a before shot, and I'm gonna first of all build the items. Everything I use I'll link below, and then once I've got them all built, I'm gonna work out what I'm gonna do. So I've built this lack, got it there, cut off my copper pipes that are in the way, and I've made it level, and you can see there that my skirting board is going to sit beautifully along the bottom. I did realise it would be the perfect height, obviously, so that'll go join up neatly across the bottom, so that's nice and straight. And now I'm going to go and finish building the rest of the PAX units. Built. What is odd is you get these plastic caps to put over the metal things, and I've got 2 white ones and 4 cream ones, which is a bit annoying. They go over those catches there. So now I'm going to get on with cutting my bit of wood. All built, worst bit done. I'm going to cut this, which is actually a desktop that I bought. It's called the Lag Captain. No, but it's 60 deep by 200, and it's an oak effect. So I'm going to cut it. It's, as you can see, push it. You can see how too long it is. Just trim it down there. I know it's going to be difficult because it's got a sort of a hollow inside, so I'll do it as carefully as I can. Tricky job. I have to smash out a bit of this wall because when I measured my 60 centimetres here, that was to the brick, and I have a thickness from this, so I've drawn the line. I'm going to chip out a bit of this wall here, which is basically plasterboard and stuff, just so I can slide it back in. I've got a bit of wood, so as you can see I've got a bit of a gap here. So what I'm going to do, these are the cut-off bits from the spindles of the stairs, and I'm going to make some battens at the back like this. Screw them all to the wall across there. I've marked up where they've got to go, and that'll just hold the worktop at the back, just to give it a bit more support. I literally haven't got any other wood, so I'm just going to use this. I'm going to drill into the wall and screw them in with big long screws all the way across there. To show you, I have drilled 2 holes with this. 2 holes there, and I've put in these wall plugs. Put them in there, but I'm literally using these offcuts. Screw the hole in, so mark where they are, and then I literally screw them in like that underneath my line. And that is how I'm doing it all the way across. If I had one little bit of wood, I would use that, but I don't, so I'm using what I've got. Now, sticking on the back, some old spares of the flooring. You're going to see horrible bare wall, but all these offcuts stuck on it like that, you're not. So I'll show you what they look like when I've got them in. But not the neatest in the world, but I have pinned it, so that'll hold it on, and it's glued. You're not going to see it because it's going to have baskets in front of it, but I just didn't want to leave it open, so I'll put it up now. When you look through, all you can see is those bits. As I say, it's going to have baskets in front, but I just didn't want to leave it open. But it looks quite good. Slight join there. You're not going to notice that, so that seals it quite nicely. Right now, I'm going to put my wood on my brackets. That is the top. I have to use a little bit of no more nails. I do get asked by, I think, American viewers what No More Nails is. It's made by Unibond. It's called No More Nails. It is a glue. So it comes in one of these holders, so I'm not sure what the American name is, but it's basically made by Unibond, so you may have something slightly different, but it's amazing and sticks stuff really well. So I'm going to wait for this to dry. It takes about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to bring in the cabinets and stack them on, and we'll see what spacing we've got around it. But that is that stage. Really pleased with this. It's a perfect size for some baskets that are going to slot in there. Obviously skirting board, it makes it super easy because you've got a ready-made base with these feet. So pleased with it. So I'll show you in a minute. Good morning. It is Sunday morning. It is the following day to when I last shared into IKEA last night to get another door. These are the doors I had in the hallway cupboard. I'm reusing them, so I had to go and buy another one. These I did prime and paint, I think in ammonite, not sure. So I've only got one that I've got a prime. Here we are. It's all fitting. And we've done something unusual. We have turned the PAX upside down because it fitted perfectly, but I still want to put my coving at the top. We literally spun it upside down and that will fit perfectly at the top. So if you are got a tight space, you can turn it around. So what I'm going to do today, and I've secured all of this, let it dry, and then I've just stood it on the top. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to have a bit of a jiggle around. I do want to put a piece in the middle because with IKEA doors, they cover this whole section. They're very clever how they pivot out, but they would literally touch here, so it's not going to give that fitted look. So I will, if I just move it a bit, I am going to have a fitted section here. So I'm going to start working out my spacing, and I'll explain to you how I work it all out in a minute. Okay, I'm back from B&Q and I've done all my measuring and I've been very lucky. So this is this is the marker, my spacer for when I do panelling. I'll link my panelling videos below. So this is the size that I use, and as if by magic, on its side, the sideways is the perfect size, which is amazing. So I've been and bought 4 pieces. I think these are about £6 a piece. I will link this wood that I'm using, the frame. It's 89 centimetres width there. So that's one. This is my plans. This is how I do my design on one of my design sheets, which I will also link below. I use these a lot with different sorts of paper. For this one I've used the square. So I've measured out all my dimensions, because what I do is I work it all out, then when I go to the shop for the cutting, this is how they like to receive it. So the size of the MDF I'm using is 2440 by 1220, and then you basically add it out like this. So this is the guy who's ticked it, and then he's cut it for me there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put 4 big pieces. I'll start this end. So I'll put a big piece there, screw it into the wall that way. Then I'll put this next to it. Then I will put some screws to screw it to that. That's also going to be screwed against the wall as well. Then I'll put a thin one on its side here. And I've actually been tight and I bought 6mm MDF. So I have to measure to get this to stick out a little bit, because the thickness of the IKEA doors is 1.9 and the MDF is 1.8. 1.2 or 6, so I went for the 6. So these basically, when I build the frame, it'll stick out slightly. So when I put the MDF on, it'll be in line with the door, if that makes sense. So I've got that. If you want to pay a little bit extra more, you just literally make it flush and buy 1.8, but I didn't do that. So then I will then screw this to this, then screw that in like that, then put that one in. This will be the fiddly one, but I've got some very, very long screws that I'll put through to attach that, and it'll be attached at the back as well, so it's going to be super solid. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll do all of that. I'll get the frame on, show you that, then I will put on all my bits. Now I'm going to get on with putting the frame on. I thought I'd show you mid-fitting actually. Definitely invest in some of these clamps. They are really cheap. I'll link them, get a pack of 5 for about £6 just to hold things. My walls are not remotely straight, so it has been a bit tricky, but I just want to show you what I've used, because I had to turn them upside down. There's they're bolted into the wall at the bottom, but I've been using these brackets. So that's all plugged into the wall and then I've screwed it in. So it's nice and secure. I've done that all the way along, so it's fixed at the top as well. It's going to be screwed into the walls at the front here as well, but just to hold it at the back as well, I've used those little screw things, which I can't remember what I bought them for, something else. They're these, they're just little corner braces, which I used. So I've got these all in position. I'm about to put the last one on. Okay, frame is on, like that. And because I've been to B&Q and all my pieces pre-cut, all I have to do now, like a big puzzle, is basically attach them. I always use cork at the ends, or because the walls are not straight in the slightest, don't worry too much, because you could always put some very thin beading, which I'm using on the stairs to make ends look good, because I do have, as you can see here, a bit of a gap. It is screwed all the way down, but I still have a gap on my finger fits. But it is unbelievably solid. Okay, so I'm now going to like a big puzzle, put all my bits on, got my instructions so I can remember which bit is which, and I'm going to glue them, and then once I've glued them, leave them for a little bit, and then I'm going to use my nail gun with pins. You could just use pins, tap them in just to attach it a bit better. So I'm going to attach my frame. Let's see if it fits. Okay, it's all dry. That's as far as I've got at the moment, and I've made, quite proud of this, a very small little, what do you call this, L-shaped bit of wood to go around this funny corner. So it's going to fit sort of like that, like a slight lip, and then I'm going to do a little bit here. But I've just basically nailed it, so I've got this funny, annoying corner, so I thought that's the best way to do it. I'm using my 36cm piece that I have, so I will have to raise it up slightly. I've got to sand that down a little bit and get that stuck sort of there. And then I'm going to do a flat piece there. So I've got to do a bit of repair work on this because it's all falling off. So I'm going to do a bit of filling on that. Well, I've got this whole wall to do really, but yeah, it's all drying nicely. That's all on. Quite pleased with the joins there. Not putting it on the bottom because that's just going to have skirting board like that. Yeah, so I'm going to do a little bit of primer just on the MDF, and then get this glued, sanded, and then I'm calling it a day. So I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. My husband is rabbiting on in the background as he's now in his new office, but this is what this looks like today. I gave it a bit of a prime last night. The primer I'm using, I thought I'd run out, and then I found it. This home-based prime and undercoat. So I gave it a bit of a going on the front, and I made this corner. I lightly sand, do a bit of filling, but it's pretty level, as you can see the lines, but it's not bad. So the skirting board's going to come across here, and it will go around there eventually. So what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to get the doors on. 2 doors I had anyway, I'm reusing. I'm going to get them on because I might have to shave, because my walls are unbelievably wonky. I'm going to have to shave a little bit there, I think. You see at the top it's fine, but then as you come down, it's not. Pretty happy with all the other pieces, but I'm going to do that. So I'm going to do that this morning, and then I'm going to get on with more bits in the hallway. But everything else that I'm doing in the hallway is linked. So I'm going to crack on with this, and I'll show you the doors. Okay, we have the doors on. This is the new one I bought the other day, and these are the other 2 that I had that I painted in a colour that I really don't like now I see it in white. I'm going to show you a little trick when it comes to fitting IKEA doors. It's fairly easy, but there's a little trick which, if you're trying to adjust the height, it is this screw there. It's so clever. Let me just show you. Where is my screwdriver? So you put them on, and if you just need to make it go up and down, it's so clever. So watch these. If I turn it, see how it goes up and down? Like that. So you can adjust the height. Simple as that. So I've got mine fully down. So they are screwdrivers in the door. Like that. So I had to take this off chisel, which I have done there. So I left the neat edge there, and this obviously I'm going to do a bit of filling, and it's going to have cork down it. So I flipped it back on itself, but that is fully secure now. Because we moved them the other way around, it was too tight, so I had to put the doors quite high up. So what that has meant is I have a gap underneath, which I'm going to have to get some MDF to just put across there, but that's fine. See it better there. It was just catching on this too much, and as much as I put it as high as I could, so I just moved it up. So I'll put a strip across there. And now I'm going to prime this door, get them all painted, prime that, and yeah, well, it's been a good few weeks since I last did anything on this cupboard, mainly because I have to say I'm not feeling these doors. So I've been thinking about it for probably 2 weeks, decided what I'm going to do. I thought I could put some sort of reading in there, or paint a different colour, or do something, but I've come up with something else, which I'm going to do now. We had the coronation yesterday. I got some trim here, really thin trim, I think it was £2.49, and that's going to go in that corner. Then I'll cork it and paint it, so it'll be a really nice seal. And I bought another one to do this side, but this is my job this week. I've got to improve this archway, but I'm going to work on this, and I also got some bits to finish across here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing the doors, and what I bought was, let me grab one, here we go. I've been and got some MDF cut in 9mm sections, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick them in here like that to make the door one plain panel. It was the cheapest way of doing it, and then I'm going to add trim. If I was building this from scratch, I would just buy 3 plain doors like I did upstairs for £30 each from Ikea, but I already had these 2, bought the 3rd one, and then remembered I'm not keen on these doors. I don't know what it is. I think they just, to me, look too much like kitchen doors, and I don't like them. So I'm going to make them look less kitcheny. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to attach all of these, and then I bought more trim. I'm going to match the trim that's on the walls here, and hopefully I've got something that's not too big to deal with that top bit, because coving is too big. So I'm going to crack on with that now, and I'll show you once I've stuck on these doors. Just can use no one else. Okay, there we go, all stuck on. Simple as that, lots of no one else. Glued on, I'm going to let that dry, and then what I'll do tonight probably is just give that a quick prime, and then in the morning I can have my trim, which I'm going to put all the way around here. I've also got to cut some little bits to go on the bottom, because I also had to flip the doors around, so there's a gap, and think about getting that top bit on, but they are all on. It looks good actually with the MDF on, but I'm now going to paint it and get the trim ready for tomorrow. Okay, so it is the following day. I did prime that last night. I just stuck on a little bit, so I got cut to bring that forward a little bit. And now I'm cutting all the bits to put on the doors, so let's go on there. Good morning. It is Tuesday morning, and I didn't get a chance to do some priming last night, but I've just done it this morning. I see a lot of people on Instagram not priming the panelling. I think you really need to. If you're going to do panelling, honestly, it takes seconds, and it's just had a nice prime. So I'm going to let that soak in. I have found a tin of paint that I might be painting it. I'm not sure. Maybe I will, but I've painted that little corner bit as well, and once I've done the caulking, that's going to seal that really nicely. I'm still not sure about the top bit. I'm not sure about that. I may change that, but I'm really happy with the doors now. Much prefer them. So now what I'm going to do is let that dry, and I think I'm just going to get on and paint using that colour. Could go terribly wrong, might not like it. At least it's paint. If you don't like it, I can paint over it. Well, it's been another week actually, but as you can see, I tried a colour out, didn't like it, tried another colour out, didn't like it. Anyway, I'm sticking with white after all this. But what I did do is I went and did all the caulking and all the sand, the filling in all the corners, and I've just sanded everything down so it's all ready for a paint. I've also just been to B&Q again and bought this new coving for the top, because the coving, I'm going to show you, because the wood I put at the top I don't like, so I'm going to use this. So I'm going to put that up now. I'll show you when I've got it up. Okay, so a couple of coats, top is on. I accidentally ripped off a little bit of the MDF there, so I've got to do a bit of a patch-up job, but it's on. Also, giving that a coat of paint in there as well, so it looks better. This is ammonite in here. I just put a little bit on the walls as well. This was our temporary kitchen, so there's a little bit of splats up the walls, so lots of woodwork to do in there. So I'm just going to have to wait for this to dry before we do another coat, so I'll probably see you in the morning. So, good morning. It is Monday morning. It's dried overnight. I thought I'd leave it, gave it a coat in the morning, coat late evening, and I've left it to properly dry. As you can see, it needs another coat. And I used to do a little bit of filling, little cornery bits. I'm much happier with the top piece. This obviously is a separate area, which I have started. I've given it a whitewash and then put some of the ammonite on, but I thought with woodwork to do and all of that, so I'm going to ignore that for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a new coat. I've got to attach the skirting board and give that a good paint. The key with everything is priming when you're painting over IKEA. Undercoat and primer. I will link the one I used below because it's really good. It's a quick drying one as well, but I still like to leave it. So I'm going to crack on, and then I'm going to put the handles on. Dunk dunk. Then I'll show you when it's at the final coat. Okay, just another coat. It's taking a lot of coats, but I've just done another one, and I think that might be the last one. So what I'm quickly going to do, using some decorator cork, is I'm going to go up here, fill all the little gaps at the bottom, get that done. I've put the second hand, I've got the third handle to put on. I don't have any top tips of putting handles on, but I would say use a small thin drill bit, pop some masking tape on the back, drill through with a thinner one first, then get a larger one and then drill through, and that tends to stop it splitting on the back. So I'm going to do that, and then once I've filled everything, I'll show you the finished result. So, as if by magic, here is the finished PAX storage. So here we go, we have finished. I am just very carefully standing at that angle, because you know that I'm doing that area next. I didn't actually attach that side bit because I thought it's no point. I'll cover this with a sheet, and then I'll get on with doing this and make that corner nice, so that's a separate bit. So there we go. These baskets are IKEA. Everything that I used I'll link below, and I'll add which shop I bought stuff from and everything. One thing to be very clear, the prices I'm quoting is British pounds. I am fully aware that things are very much more expensive in America. For one of these units, I believe I paid about £40, and I think they're 3 times the price in America. So this is pounds that I'm talking about. So there we go, really happy how the top turned up. Obviously I haven't finished painting this room. I've now decided on the colour of this wall. So it's not going to stay white. I see it's very white. This is going to have a colour on the top. This has just had the whitewash really. So because I have ammonite in there, kind of makes sense to make this ammonite. So, but there we go. I'm going to do a separate video about how I do the inside, because I'm going to do a bit of a tweak to the inside. But that is 3 IKEA PAX and the TV stand. All on. I've filled and corked all the way along here, around the edges, just finished it off using some decorator cork. It's not as even as I'd like it to be, but these walls are so wonky. Every angle, floor, walls, ceiling, you name it. So I've done the best I can. That was the reason why I changed the top to the polystyrene one, because then it would curve with the ceiling. So that is it. I will link where I bought the handles from because they're amazing as well. I hope you found that helpful. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe, as I'm about to start another PAX wardrobe up in the bedroom. I'll link my other PAX wardrobe and Billy bookcase hacks in the description box. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.